What is up, guys? How we doing? So the Loretta Lynn's Predator, the story guy from the famous family, Storyland at Loretta Lynn's. Oh boy, he's still at it. The pressure is on Eli Tomac. If he wants to have a shot at this championship, he's got to have a big weekend in Colorado. And World Supercross has released their schedule. It's 5 rounds. I'm just excited to have this series and have some competition that kind of keeps these knuckleheads at Feld and MX Sports kind of on their toes. Competition will make it better for everybody. Nano Extreme. So it's this incredible pain cream, but it has another use. The guys, a lot of top riders are finding out it really helps with arm pump. You'd be surprised at some of the guys. I don't want to name all of them, but a lot of the guys have realized this helps arm pump and they are using it. If you want to stay hydrated at these hot outdoor events, get yourself some energy fuel. This is Coach Rob's custom formula to rehydrate your body and keep you fresh. Head over to Complete Racing Solutions and get yourself some energy fuel. Precision Transport, the best shipping company, family owned, reasonable pricing, just genuinely good people. Hit up the Madden family over at pretransport.com and let them handle your shipping needs.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers. Let's say that's the bad guy.
So last weekend, we had the Outdoor Nationals at Hangtown, we had MXGP over in Germany, and we had Calgary. The Canadian Nationals kicked off with Phil Nicoletti out of retirement to race up there. And I have fond memories of the Canadian Nationals and hearing the announcers with their enthusiasm yelling, "Hole shot."
Corner, who can get that rose from the hole shot? Wow, look at the jump for the pillars.
Brian Coster and the boys did a heck of a job for a long time making that series look cool, drawing top talent. And while the field isn't that deep, the top 2 guys in that 450 class, Jess Pettis and Dylan Wright, holy crap, they're really fast. If those guys came over to the United States and rode like they did in Calgary at a USA National, they'd be top 10. But what's tough is that field, as you go down, you get to about 5th place. Now you're looking at guys that barely qualify for nationals in the United States. So there's a big, steep drop-off. The first moto, they had 1 minute and 50 seconds on Phil Nicoletti, who was in 3rd. They almost lapped to the podium. It was crazy. They were flying out there. But I was really disappointed in the track. So I used to ride at Boulder City here, and my buddy Bryce Davis, great dude, but he used to party a lot. So he'd show up late and then throw water down on this dusted track like 20 minutes before we were to go out there to ride. It wouldn't absorb, so you'd have mud on the top and dust underneath. That's what this track looked like, and I was like, what happened? How does the national track look that bad? It was probably the worst conditions that I've seen for a national. Turns out the night before, they had this incredible windstorm that ripped over awnings and messed up the irrigation system. They had some issues, so I'm going to cut them some slack. They still got it done and put on one heck of a national. And if you want to watch those live, head over to Ride TV, RYDE, Ride TV. I think it's like $6 a month. But you know me, I'm a junkie. I'm going to go for any racing that I can. I got MXGP, AMA Nationals, and now I'm watching Canadian Nationals. I'm sure hoping the conditions are a lot better this weekend because it was nasty. If you guys see some of the footage from there, it was, and the way the track dried out, it was almost like a GNCC one-liner. I mean, lappers were trying to get out of the way, but they were stuck in the line. But I'm not going to lie, it's tough watching this when I know what it used to look like and what it's looking like now. But I want to support them and get them back to the Canadian glory days of past. And they want to make it better, and they're going to make it better. They just need to keep building momentum, gaining partners, and hopefully we can bring back Canadian motocross to its glory days of 2015. One suggestion, can we please get the guy filming the starting line a stabilizer? I'm not going to lie, that was shaking, and maybe it was the wind, but man, he was giving me motion sickness. And it was funny, both Jess Pettis and Dylan Wright each gave each other a finger gun. They got quite the rivalry going on up there. I don't know who's going to come out on top this weekend. They went 1-2 and 2-1. Wright got the overall because it was the second moto, but they're tied on points. So you guys remember a couple years ago when Davey Coombs had a sex predator, a known violent sex offender, renting golf carts at Loretta Lynn's? And then when it was brought to his attention, he didn't say, oh my gosh, we have a known sex offender renting golf carts. He went, well, you don't know what that Story family's done for the sport, because that's what they call Storyland in the back. That's dedicated to the Story family, who's done a lot to help that Loretta Lynn's event be successful. But that doesn't mean you get and now it turns out, and active sex offender. So in the last couple of years, this dude's got busted for more stuff. So you have a active violent sex offender at Loretta Lynn's. And what's terrifying is this dude was loose around your kids a couple years ago. And Davey Coombs' response was, yeah, the Story family's done a lot for him. How dare you sully their name? The dude is a violent sex offender at a kids race. Yeah, come on. And just so you guys know, there's quite a few organizations out there, and for $10 for each employee, you can do background checks to make sure that you don't have any violent sex offenders working youth events. Football's figured it out, baseball, soccer, all these other sports. You can go, you pay like $10, you get background checks on all your employees and make sure this is not a problem, but they're too cheap. Or what might be even more sinister is they know and don't care. Either way, time to get background checks on all the employees at youth events. Come on, Davey. For as much as you charge everything at Loretta's, it is so expensive and it just keeps going up. Pop for the $10 background checks. Got my new Ride Strapped shirts. It's like Christmas every time Chris sends me a bunch of like brand new shirts. They're the softest, nicest. It's pretty cool. So check out Ride Strapped. Get your super soft t-shirt, goggles, glasses, and lots of cool stuff over at ridestrapped.com. Alias MX gear. High quality motocross gear. We're about 2.5 weeks away from the 2026 gear dropping. You're going to have to move fast because it's going to sell out quick. Head over to aliasmx.com. And don't forget, all you members, you are signed up to win the new Power Sports XQi3 motorcycle that we're giving away in December. Check these things out. They are awesome. So the series goes to Lakewood, Colorado this weekend. And you've got Eli Tomac coming off a moto win, followed by a horrendous second moto that cost him a truckload of points. Now, as good as he rode, and he handed Jet one of his only defeats in the 450 class, he still has put himself behind the 8-ball with that second moto. Jet is too consistent and too good. He's not going to give up large chunks of points. We're at round 3, and it's an 11-round series. If he gives up any more points to Jet Lawrence in Colorado, it's going to get real difficult. And then he can just start racing for race wins and just kind of forget about the championship. But if he still wants a shot at winning this championship this season, Eli Tomac doesn't have to necessarily win, but I don't see him not winning if he beats Jet. He has to get more points than Jet at this round. And the reason I phrase it like that is I think Justin Cooper might get your win. I picked him last week, but I'm going to stay with him again this week because I'm telling you, he rides Colorado good. I don't know if it's the altitude, the off cambers, but something about Colorado works really good with Justin Cooper. He rides fast there. And we keep hearing rumors about KTM pushing to sign Eli Tomac. And, I'm worried about him on that bike. I don't think he'll mesh well with it. And I'm also hearing more alarming rumors that Chase Sexton's not getting paid. Now, I have not confirmed that, but it kind of lines up with why he's sitting out. Stay tuned, but the rumors are Chase has not received all the bonuses that are owed to him. And like I say, that's a rumor for right now. I'm still trying to find out for sure if that's the situation. But it has gotten ugly between Chase and KTM, with Ian Harrison saying that he'll be back at Southwick, and then on social media, Chase Sexton saying, no, not true. I'm like, wow, you guys need to get on the same page here. This is a relationship gone bad. And with everybody getting to ride the new Ducati, word is it's a little bit better bike than I thought it was. Maybe Jeremy Sewer and the GP guys just aren't doing that good on the bike. Maybe it's not the bike's problem. So it gives me hope that either Anderson or Tomac or Barsha can get on that bike and actually be competitive. So I'm not as down on Ducati as I was. And maybe Tomac will want to rethink that, hearing what we're hearing about KTM and their money issues. Now, Aaron Plessinger rode out of his mind in that first moto, but he misjudged it by 2 laps. Had they cut the motos, he probably would have won. They didn't. They cut the second one, not the first one. But he pushed himself into the red zone. And, you can do that, but it really does affect your following week. It is so important that he hydrated and rest this whole week. Hope he didn't do a ton of exercise back at the Baker's factory because he pushed himself to a level that can dig you a hole. Coach Rob always talks about it, how you pull out those reserves, and you can only do that so many times before you put yourself into a fitness hole. I really hope Plessinger rested up this week, hydrated. I still think we're going to see a bit of a flat Aaron Plessinger because you can't empty the tank like that 2 weeks in a row. It's so hard on the body. But if he rides anything like he did in that first moto, he will be in the mix for a win and a podium. And World Supercross has their 2025 championship. They put all the dates out. They're 5 rounds. They got Canada, Australia, Argentina, South Africa. They're going all over the place. And I'm telling you, you might not be super impressed with the World Supercross Series, but if you love Supercross and motocross, and you truly do feel like I do, how you want the riders to get fair pay, you want people to treat the sport the way it should be treated and not be pushing, pride on us and all this other ridiculous crap because we have no other options. This is how we fight back. Support World Supercross. Competition forces them to do things that are in the best interest of the fans and riders. So I strongly recommend you support World Supercross. All right, thank you guys. We'll be back tomorrow with a little 250 preview. One member is going to get some energy fuel in the month of June. You get the bundle from Coach Rob, and I appreciate all you members. So here's your member of the day.
In this wasteland, on the shoulders of the forgotten man, dirt tears mixed with bloodshed. We are soldiers, what knows left for dead. Animals in the circus, they'll pay you top dollar if you're worth it. If you say your soul with some purpose, heavy is the crown on the head.
Dear American Motocross Association, it's time to talk about cultural appropriation. Time to talk about contract negotiations, health insurance for the injuries and bone breaking. Less restrictions on the meds we at home taking. To this day my neck and back is aching. Risk your life to help you back the stadium for the love of racing, but riders still gotta pay to compete. You making money off the riders in the stadium seats. The cheapest ticket at a race is 35 at least, multiplied by 40,000 for 18 weeks. Don't forget about the money that you make off sponsors. From Bud Light to Oakley, Red Bull to Monster. I'm just trying to understand the business, financial logistics, things like profits and expenses. How much do the stadium cost for you to rent it? And how does that affect your profits from attendance? And why can't the riders get a bigger percentage? Please explain. The sport is in need of a change. Ask the riders and the fans, we all see it the same. It's Moto Life for me, refuse to watch the sport get ruined. United we stand, demand a dirt bike union, yeah.
Trying to survive in this wasteland, on the shoulders of the forgotten man. Dirt tears mixed with bloodshed. We are soldiers, what knows left for dead. Animals in the circuit, they pay you top dollar if you're worth it. If you say your soul with some purpose, heavy is the crown on the head.
Dear fans of motocross, we need y'all to help the sport grow and evolve. Support the cause, light a candle for the riders we lost. We came a long way since the 70s. That first Supercross race in Daytona started a legacy. Bill France gave us a chance, he helped plant a seed for the future, so the culture advanced, paying homage to the forefathers like Joel Roberts, Dave Vickers, and Roger DeCoster, Ricky Carmichael, and Jeremy McGrath, as we carry on tradition, celebrating our past. Moto Life forever, so we carry the torch. The love for dirt bikes and impeccable